Jack Dolbel, s330659. This is my reading and writing journey. My first exposure to literature was nursery rhymes. My mother would recite them to me at night or read them from various books. I enjoyed the rhyming and soon memorized many of them for myself. This theme of repetition or rote learning and memorization would carry through much of my reading and writing journey. Entering primary school, I outgrew nursery rhymes, but still enjoyed the routine of being read to before bed. At night, my mother read novels, such as The Chronicles of Narnia and Harry Potter to me, while my father read graphic novels like Tintin. It was at this time I was introduced to sight word flashcards and started bringing home readers from school. I distinctly remember struggling through home readers and being on a lower level than my peers. I enjoyed being read to, but hated reading for myself. I struggled with graphemes, particularly consonant diagraphs, like A, O, and E, and thus did my best to avoid them. Like nursery rhymes, I began memorizing my home readers, borrowing the same 5 or 6. This way I didn't have to learn new sounds or letter combinations. Having been read novels for so long, I had a great vocabulary, but I had terrible phonics and fluency in my own reading. Somewhere in the middle of my primary school journey, my father got quite sick, and I spent a lot of time away from school. My parents did their best to teach me, but my mother was a large advocate for rote learning. As a result, I learnt to read by memorizing the shape of words rather than decoding the graphemes. For example, I would read the word through like this instead of decoding oo. While it worked for me, it impacted my spelling and reading. I often mistook words that had a similar shape. For example, when and what, or through and thought. I began consistently attending school again at a new school. However, they had a completely different reading program called Lexile. Lexile ranked books by difficulty, and periodically you would be tested online to determine your rank and the books you had to read. All my peers who had been a part of the program since they started school seemed to have no problem with Lexile and had a high rank, while I was playing catch up, which discouraged me. The Indigenous Education Review recognized this as a challenge for students and a flaw in the learning experience. They found the range of literacy programs in the NT was vast, and there's a remarkable absence of coherence and consistency across the system. This is Scowborough's rope. It is a metaphorical representation of a reader's journey to successful reading comprehension, which looks like this. Using the same metaphorical representation, I believe my rope would look more like this because of my lack of phonological awareness and decoding abilities. The link between reading and writing is strong, as noted by Paul P. in his 1999 article, Why Literacy Matters. It's no surprise then that my poor reading abilities trickled into my writing journey. Spelling was always an uphill battle and was once again taught to me by rote. My poor understanding of graphemes meant I never really got a grasp of spelling words with vowel digraphs. To this day, without spell check or a quick Google search, I struggle to distinguish between or spell cause and course. And even now, I still repeat big elephants catch ants under small elephants every time I need to spell because. By the time I reached middle school, I realized I could skip learning to spell by using a laptop instead of a workbook. My journey learning to read and write was bumpy, but with technology, I managed to fill in the gaps of my academic shortcomings. Now that I'm becoming a teacher, I'm very keen to learn the best practice approaches to spelling and reading in the hopes I can give my students a better shot. Thanks for listening.